Hey y'all, hey, I'm back with another video. So y'all know when I pull out the tripod in this raggedy ass chair, y'all know it's because it's just something that I was thinking of, and I was like, let me just sit down real fast and do it versus hopping on my computer. I'm gonna still do a what the fuck we talking about video later today, but I just needed to, I need to get this out. So yesterday, if you don't know, news broke that Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kandi Burris, aka she used to be in a group Escape back in the 90s. She has split. Her and her husband Todd Tucker have split and divorced after 11 years of marriage together. So that's very unfortunate. Don't like to see like a marriage like end or whatever like that. Not a good time. But it's funny because the main thing that started trending outside of Kandi's name was Mama Joyce. Because all of us thought once we heard that news, baby, Mama Joyce is over there doing the two-step, doing the she doing the Harlem Shake. She dug in, like, Mama Joyce is happy. If you don't know, Mama Joyce is Kandi's mom. And I really came on here because I don't see everybody doing it, but I do see like some people being like, "Oh, that's why Mama Joyce was right." And Mama Joyce was right to have to get Kandi to make Todd sign that prenup. And oh, that's why you gotta listen to your mom. And it's just like, bro, all of y'all that are saying that about Mama Joyce, either A, y'all literally have zero boundaries, like y'all don't understand the concept of what a boundary is, or B, you probably have like not the best relationship. Because if you think the way that Mama Joyce behaved before, going into, during, and after their marriage, you're a sad, sick person and you need to go get help. Nothing that Mama Joyce did before, during, and after they got married was okay. And I've already made videos on this before. I haven't done it in a while because I just don't care anymore. But the point of the matter is, I made a video a long time ago, maybe like a year or two ago, around Mama's Joyce treatment of Todd and how Kandi just sits there and allows it. Now, the reason of them having a divorce did not come, it was not like expressed. I'm pretty sure, as normal, it's probably not just one thing. I'm pretty sure it's a mix of things or whatever. Some people, there's this rumor going around like, oh, Kandi caught Todd with some woman. I highly doubt that because Kandi was just on her show maybe not that long ago. I want to say like a month ago or so. And her person at like her co-host asked her, when's the last time that, like, do you and Todd still do threesomes? And she said, yeah, they had just done one a few months ago. So I'm not buying the, oh, she cheated on, he cheated on her shit. I'm not buying that because Kandi, not to say that that's not possible, but if I'm going off of what Kandi says, Kandi is with the get down. She don't mind that he be in the strip club. She be going with him. So I don't think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure it's just, again, a whole bunch of shit together. But let's talk about a few things, right? I want to talk about Mama Joyce first, and then we'll talk about Kandi and Todd. Mama Joyce, I'm going to be very clear. Mama Joyce don't give two shits about whether or not Todd was a good man or Todd wasn't a good man, or if Todd was using her or wasn't using her. Mama Joyce didn't give a fuck about none of that. What Mama Joyce cares about is the bread, because Mama Joyce feels like Kandi's money is her money. That has been established a long time ago. Mama Joyce sees no difference in it being Kandi's money versus hers. That's why she fights so hard, because she feels like every dime that Kandi has is hers, which is why she moves the way that she moves. Let's take it a step back before, because in my opinion, it doesn't matter. It could have not been Todd. It could have been Joe from up the street. It does not matter. Mama Joyce was never gonna see it for that person, because all she sees when Kandi gets married is somebody else to take from the pie. That's what she sees. Like I said, let's go back for a second. Before Kandi got with Todd, right? Because if y'all do not know, Todd was actually a producer on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's how they met, right? But before that, when Kandi first joined the Real Housewives of Atlanta, she was in a relationship with a man named AJ. May AJ rest in peace. AJ passed away, I want to say maybe like a year or so after like they actually like filmed, but then him and Kandi had broke up at that time. But point of the matter is, to be fair, AJ did have a shitload of kids. I get that. He did have a lot of kids, but Mama Joyce never saw it for AJ, ever. She didn't care that Riley actually liked AJ. Meanwhile, you too busy talking about Block and what Block is. Okay, sorry, this is for people if you don't watch, if you don't know. Riley is Kandi's daughter, right? And she had Riley with a man named, I believe his name is Block, like that's his hood name or whatever. But Block was never around, right? So my thing is, you had such a big problem because Block was never around and Block wasn't paying child support. But when Riley actually clinged on to AJ, that one season that we did watch, Riley really loved AJ a lot. And the fact that you didn't, fuck the fact that Riley liked him. The fact that your daughter was saying, this is somebody that I'm in love with and this is somebody that I want to get married to. Whether you agreed or not, your attitude was completely nasty and disgusting. And AJ, may he rest in peace, seemed like a real nigga and it seemed like he was going to go for none of that shit. None of that shit. Let's move on to, like I said, Kandi and Todd. Like I said, Kandi met Todd because Todd was actually a producer on The Real Housewives, right? They start dating, they get with each other, cool. Mama Joyce from the very beginning, like I said, never liked Todd. And the reason why Mama Joyce don't like Todd is because she didn't feel like, again, like I said, she felt like it was just in the long run of them getting married and then him being able to take part of the pie. She does not like the fact that Todd does not have as much money as Kandi because, again, in her eyes, she just sees it as taken. And again, that's because she feels entitled to that money. Feel however you want to feel, but the way that Mama Joyce was blatantly disrespectful to Todd, I told y'all, I look at this two ways. Number one, Todd is a better man than me because not only would I have cursed Mama Joyce the fuck out, I would have been left Kandi. Because I'm not gonna allow nobody to disrespect you, whether it's a parent or nobody, because you're my wife. So I would never let nobody disrespect you. So for you to continuously allow your mother, your aunts, and whoever to constantly disrespect me and never put your foot down and say enough is enough. Now, Kandi would sometimes be like, okay, mama. But Kandi has never put her foot down when it comes to Mama Joyce and said, this shit stops now. I'm going to tell you something right now. This is how this is going to work. Either you gonna stop disrespecting Todd and talking about him in our marriage, or guess what? Me and you won't even be in communication. That's the type of shit that I would be on. But in my opinion, Kandi was never going to do that. That's why I felt like this marriage was doomed from the beginning, because Kandi is never and will never stand up to Mama Joyce. And to me, in my opinion, between Mama Joyce, the way that, in my opinion, I don't know this for a fact, but in my opinion, between Mama Joyce and the way that Kandi cares so much about money, I don't think she needs to be in a relationship nor a marriage. That is my honest opinion. I think Kandi cares about the bag and Kandi cares about Mama Joyce. And those are the two things that she really gives a fuck about. And because those two things are unmovable and unshakable for her, I don't think she needs to be in a relationship. I think she needs to just be by herself, get you some dick on the side. But there's no point of you being in a relationship or a marriage, because you're never going to, I don't say never, it comes off as if you will never prioritize your relationship and your whoever the fuck you're with over specifically your mother. I can't speak for the money part because I'll give my opinion on that, but specifically from what we see, your mom. You will never do it. So like I said, Todd is a better person than me. And as far as Kandi is concerned, my problem, like I said, with Kandi is, at what point? Like at what point is enough? You constantly, because my thing is, you would never be okay if Todd allowed somebody to do that to you. You would never be okay with that. You would never think it's okay. You would never let it go. You would never, ever let anybody in Todd's family ever disrespect you. That would not be okay with you. So my whole thing is, why don't you feel like it's enough of a problem for you to stand in your shit? Like, to me, when Kandi gets around Mama Joyce, she shrinks back into a fucking 5-year-old. Kandi, you're a grown-ass woman with like 3 to 4 fucking kids, all of these businesses, all of this money, and you shrink down to a 3-year-old the minute you get in front of Mama Joyce and refuse to put your foot down when it comes to her. I don't even care about the whole part when people's like, oh, you give Mama Joyce too much money. I don't give a shit. Give your mama whatever the fuck you want to give her money-wise. But my problem with the money is that there's no respect behind it. I'm doing all this shit for you. All this shit. I'm taking care of you. I'm paying for your houses. I'm buying you multiple houses. You ain't got to worry about nothing. All I ask is that you be respectful to me and my husband. And you can't even do that. And the point of the matter is, Mama Joyce continues to do it because Kandi allows it. Kandi has to take responsibility in the fact that she allows Mama Joyce to do what the fuck ever. Not even just with her husband. We've seen her on the show meet up with people that can't meet up with other girls that she knows for a fact Kandi is going back and forth with, and Kiki in front of their faces. Kiki about her own daughter to other bitches. What the fuck does, what kind of mental manipulative hold? Because that's a part of it. I already know that's part of what it is. A lot of it is Mama Joyce being manipulative and her constantly throwing in Kandi's face that similar to that's why to me Mama Joyce ain't that much different from Tamika and Tasha's mom, because she got that same sense of entitlement of, oh well, I was the one who did this when you was younger, and I did this, and your mama was, and your dad wasn't around, and I did this, and I did that, and I did this, and I did that. It's like, okay, but at the end of the day, you were my mom. That's your job. You don't get a cookie because you did your job as a mother. Now that I am your daughter and I have the means, I'm going to take care of you. But the point of the matter is that Mama Joyce does not have any respect for Kandi. Fuck outside of her marriage. Fuck with her marriage. Mama Joyce has zero respect for Kandi. Period. She has no respect for her, not in the way that she talks to her. This is what sent me about Mama Joyce. And this is the last time I made a video on this. Kandi and Todd have 2 children together, right? Mama Joyce sat Kandi down, wanted to have a separate conversation. Like, this is how big of a deal it was to her. She had a conversation with Kandi where she sat in that woman's face and said, I think you should put me and Riley as people that benefit from your will, but not your 2 other children. I said, yo, this old bitch is crazy. For number one, for you to say, and Kandi did call this out. Kandi was like, so you think you gonna die before me? That's the first thing. The first thing to say, you're saying to your child to put me on your will, like as if you're gonna die, because Mama Joyce has every intention of outliving Kandi so she could spend her money the way she wants to. That's why she said that. But second of all, Mama Joyce, when Mama Joyce brought that up, she said, my reasoning is because the 2 younger kids, God forbid something happens to you, they have Todd. Riley doesn't have anybody at all. So I don't think that it's fair that pretty much that the other kids should get the money as well because Todd is there. Do you know how crazy you have to be? Because regardless of the situation, those are your grandchildren. It's not like Kayla, right? Kayla is Todd's separate child. It's not like we're talking about Kayla. We're talking about children that your child and her husband has together, meaning that is your grandchildren as well. And I've heard people try to defend this. This is straight bullshit. I don't care. I don't agree with nobody who says that makes sense. That makes zero sense. I don't give a fuck who them other kids have. At the end of the day, it is like you're making a clear separation between Riley and your other grandchildren. That to me is one of the biggest issues right there. Why are you trying to separate the children that your daughter has with one man from somebody else? When, to be very fucking clear, at least Todd married Kandi, stayed with Kandi, helped her take care of a kid that wasn't fucking his. What the fuck did Block do? What the fuck did Block do? But you're so tied to Riley and trying to protect Riley. Like Kandi ain't gonna make sure that Riley is good regardless of what fucking happens. That is disgusting. It is disgusting to say that instead of splitting up, if you pass away, instead of you splitting up your money between all 3 of your children to just give it to me and one of your other kids, that to me, if I'm Kandi, that's the end of the straw. That to me, no more. You've gone too far now. You've gone way too far. Way too far. You've lost your mind to ask your daughter to keep 2 of her children out of her will so that you can be one of the beneficiaries. Are you stupid? Because her thing is, oh, well, I don't think that Todd would take care of Riley if something happened, which I don't believe. I 1010% believe that if something happened to Kandi, God forbid, that Todd would make sure that Riley's okay. Not only that, right? But Kandi would make sure that Riley is okay. She don't even need Todd. But thirdly, you're trying to make it seem like if you got the money as well, you would make sure that Riley's good. No, you would drain every single dime that Kandi had if it was up to you. You would drain every single thing. And it's disgusting that you would take that money and not even attempt to help her other kids. You're disgusting. And for Kandi to sit, like if I'm Todd and I'm sitting there and I'm watching that scene, I am boiling hot, bro. I'm like steaming hot. Like steaming hot. How could you say that? And for Kandi, as my wife, if I'm Todd, you sitting there, you letting your mom be that fucking disrespectful? Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way. So like I said, to me, Kandi, Mama Joyce was always going to be a problem, and she's going to continuously be a problem. That's why you might as well just be by yourself. If you don't know how to be a grown-ass woman and tell your mama to mind her motherfucking business, then you ought not be in a fucking relationship. You ought not be in no marriage if you cannot even stand up to your own mom. That is an issue. You're a grown-ass woman in your 40s and don't know how to tell your mom that she's being disrespectful and to mind her own motherfucking business. That's why Kandi does not need to be in a relationship or a marriage at all. Until you know how to stand up to Mama Joyce, stay to yourself. Let that bitch, because my thing is, the one thing I am happy about Todd is at least now all she's doing is torturing Kandi. And you ain't got to be part of that no more. That ain't even my business no more. And when Todd's mom passed away, for you to be the nastiest bitch, and I'm talking about Mama Joyce, for you to be the nastiest bitch alive and continue to be even nastier to him versus realize that that man don't got a mama no more and to try to pull him in more, you're disgusting. And Kandi, like, I stand on this. I don't care. Kandi is just as wrong. Mama Joyce says it, but Kandi is just as wrong for never correcting her and allowing the disrespect of her husband to continue. That's on her. That is on her. Let's move on outside of Mama Joyce to just Kandi, period, right? Because again, the thing about Todd is I don't have much to say about Todd because we don't really know much about Todd. So a lot of the criticism that I always see about Todd is people calling him, oh, Mr. Burrs, Mr. Burrs. And I just want to say, the people that do that, you are the same bitches that want to complain about, oh, why is it that men only think that we want money, and oh, you don't gotta have money, and why is everything talked about? Because that's what the fuck y'all do. Y'all calling him Mr. Burrs because Kandi has more money than him. And all of y'all that say that, trash too. Trash too. So I don't want to hear none of y'all talk about women's rights and oh, all men care about is money. If you're calling this man Mr. Burrs, Burrs, simply based off the fact that Kandi has more money than him, I don't want to hear anything from you. You're trash. Get the fuck out of my face. I don't care. Again, it's not to say that Todd hasn't done anything wrong. We just don't know enough about Todd, which is my problem with the constant criticism of Todd. What the fuck do we know about Todd enough to be able to criticize him enough to say what he does badly? He's not on the Real Housewives enough for us to be able to see. Like, it's not like we're dealing with, like, from the Love and Marriage Huntsville, like we're dealing with Martell or Marceau or just something like that where we're very into the actual marriage and we can see what's actually going on. The only thing we ever see between Kandi and Todd is them talking about their businesses. That's it. They might not necessarily agree on ideas or styles, but that's it. We don't know anything else about Todd. So all of these theories y'all are pulling from the air and making it up. Y'all are making it up because at no point in time have we ever really seen Todd and Kandi have issues, like serious issues, outside of Mama Joyce being part of them. So it's not that Todd doesn't do anything wrong. I just don't have anything to go off of. If I saw him more on TV, if he obviously, like how even Juan Dixon on Real Housewives of Potomac, we could tell that nigga, we could see what's going on over there. But with Todd, there's not enough there for me to pull from, so I can't speak on it. Not to say he doesn't do anything wrong, I'm going to clarify that, but I can't speak on something I do not know when it comes to somebody. Now, when it comes to Kandi in particular, outside of the Mama Joyce thing, I don't care how y'all feel about this. I told y'all, people don't nobody seems to want to criticize Kandi about anything that she does. Kandi could be messy as shit. Kandi could be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta and carry a bone and nobody got nothing to say, but Sheree does it. Y'all got something to say. Portia could go and run her mouth. Y'all got everything to say. Kandi, for whatever reason, especially in the Real Housewives Atlanta's amongst the fans, she's the golden standard as far as I guess what people want. People just don't criticize. People don't hold Kandi to task about shit. Not the Real Housewives fans. They don't. And to me, mostly when I listen to when people defend Kandi, even when she's wrong, It's always because she's successful. So it's always, oh well, Kandi ain't gotta worry about that. She got money. Kandi ain't gotta worry about that. She got this going on. Why would Kandi be concerned about this when she don't need this? She don't need that. She don't need this. It's like it's always the cover for like her bullshit. And I feel like they've briefly talked about this. I think that Kandi prioritizes her career and specifically like money over damn near everything else around her. Again, I don't know that for a fact. I'm going off of what I see. And not only that, but if I'm going off of, for example, before I think Kandi and Todd decided to have their first kid and they told Riley, you want to know what Riley's response to that was? Riley said, I don't understand why y'all having another kid when y'all not even around now. I did not say that. Riley, Kandi's own daughter, said she did not see the point of them having another kid because Kandi wasn't around as it was. You're already not around. You're already too busy doing this, doing that, doing this. How the fuck are you going to have a child that you could actually be there for all the time when you're so busy? And Kandi got so offended by it, but it's like, she's not lying. Kandi's career is very important to her. Money is very, specifically money. Money is very important to Kandi. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it seems, coming off, it seems as if Kandi tends to prioritize her career and make her money over like her actual like people within her life. And I just mean like her kids. And not only her kids, but if I'm going off of what Riley said, Riley, Todd, the almighty dollar, and Mama Joyce is what's important to Kandi. I'm saying from the outside looking in. And that's what her, like I said, Riley has said, Todd has said that. People around Kandi have said that for Kandi, it's money and Mama Joyce and then everybody else fall underneath it. And I feel like if that is the case, you don't need to be in nobody's marriage, nobody's relationship. Go do what you gotta do. Go do your Broadway shit. Go do whatever it is that you need to do with your businesses. But just get dick and stop being in relationships. Because it's clear that you can't. It's clear that it's not going to work. And like I said, I stand on this. I don't give a shit. Mama Joyce is tired, delayed, and through. And she needs her old ass beat. Period. I'm out of here. That's what y'all think. Come on, bye.